They're ashamed that they're going to vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. They're ashamed of the things their party has done since its inception. They're ashamed of the fact that they've lost 350,000 children to slavery, forced labor, and sex trafficking. They're ashamed that they allowed 9.1% inflation, 40-year high that I've never seen in my lifetime. They're ashamed that they have to now make $15,000 to $20,000 more under Joe Biden than they did under Donald Trump. But here we have a pundit here declares Kamala an honorary Republican after more flip-flops. Like I mentioned, it's astonishing when you again, I live in California, so that's all you get to talk to is Democrats. Why are you all of a sudden just okay with all these things that you weren't okay with before? They can't answer it. They can't answer any of our questions. And how many times, Patriots, have we had somebody in the chat that can't answer basic questions? I'm talking 5th grade level basic questions. What you do is you minimize the word count in your sentence, just so it's as clear and as simple as possible for them to engage with that and answer clearly. They can't do it. Do you want to know why they don't answer our questions? You want to know why they won't tell you who they're voting for all the time? Or why they're voting for somebody that's doing all these crazy things? Is because they're embarrassed. That's all it is. They're embarrassed and they're ashamed that they're voting for Democrats this coming election. They're ashamed that they voted for Joe Biden and that they're willing to sit there and drive this country down again. They're ashamed that they're going to vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. They're ashamed of the things their party has done since its inception. They're ashamed of the fact that they've lost 350,000 children to slavery, forced labor, and sex trafficking. They're ashamed that they allowed 9.1% inflation, 40-year high that I've never seen in my lifetime. They're ashamed that they have to now make $15,000 to $20,000 more under Joe Biden than they did under Donald Trump. They're ashamed that they cost about $4,000 to $5,000 minimum of Americans' retirements because of their vote. They're ashamed of the fact that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are allowing our military personnel to be attacked all across the world, along with our merchant vessels and our allies. They're ashamed that Joe Biden pulled out of Afghanistan, allowed 13 service members to die and get blown up. They're ashamed at the way that their party is treating our veterans across the country. They're ashamed the fact that our veterans are being kicked out of hotels and being replaced by refugees from Afghanistan and Iraq, even though the veterans that were in those hotels served in Iraq and Afghanistan. They're ashamed at the fact of all the things their party has done over the last 4 years, and they won't admit it, because the second they admit it, their entire worldview collapses. And when their worldview collapses, now they got some sort of instability mentally, and things go south real quick. They don't want to acknowledge it. They can't acknowledge it, because the second they acknowledge it, then their worldview is shattered. And that's what it's all about right there, folks. I hope you enjoyed that rant. Hit that like and subscribe button if you feel like we are doing a good job here on the Bald Brad Show.
I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.